the Chop Zone. We are here with Dave and Eli, and we're going to be discussing some moves in the market today. How you guys doing?
Good. How you doing?
Real good. Had a
Thanks for having us.
thanks for joining. Had a productive day, productive morning, and ready to jump in a little bit. First thing I wanted to do, if it's okay with you, Dave, I'd love to go over your trade earlier. Let me see if I can pull up. Is it that's okay with you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool. Just want to make sure before I make assumptions.
I could even share my
Yeah,
screen
I saw that.
if you want.
Saw that screenshot. It's a pretty sweet one.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. I think I just got lucky. I could do my screen share if that's all right, or
Yeah.
if it's easier
Yeah, let's do that.
if I know.
Nope. All right. Full screen. All right, that should be good. Cool.
Okay, so we're looking basically at the pre-market here, and we sold off at 6 p.m. the night before and just came down into this area. This 75.85 was actually the weekly level of interest, so it did a big loop down here and actually looked below yesterday's value area, and it never actually even tested the high of yesterday's value area. So I was already in the mindset that we did look below the value area, we'd go and look above, which is about where you see this smash level. It's actually slightly higher than that. Whatever the case is, we had this big bounce out of the bottom of the overnight low, and we did this ugly chop back to this point right here. And I was actually watching. This is still about half an hour before the open, and I saw this setup. Get rid of this thing. You can see it's like a second entry long here. We have a first entry when this first candle breaks above, and then it's an ugly second entry long. I did not take that trade, but I was already under the impression that this might have been a strong buyer coming in here. He was trying to fill somewhere inside this big spike up. So then we came up and we opened, I think, right about where my cursor is now. That's like basically open. That's that green line is the open level.
Gotcha.
I did not have this range, this gray range you see here drawn. I didn't have that there. I had basically this gray line underneath here, and I'm going to turn it orange. Actually, I'm going to turn it green. This is what I was following when the price was acting out in the morning. So I think I probably had it something like this. And so we did this. We did these two legs back to the top of this range. Again, I didn't have the range drawn, but it wasn't a new high on this big spike up. And so I thought we'd probably retest it, or at least go towards value area high, which was way up here in the 76.15s. It came back, hit this trend line that I had drawn, thinking that maybe we were already in a channel and we were going to hit the side and keep running up. And it reacted well here. It came to about 2 ticks from my stop, so I was sure this was a dud.
Yeah.
And when it started to work out, I kind of just held on to it.
But what an entry though.
Yeah, it was right a tick below the open price. It was a look below, came back in immediately. They weren't interested in anything below the open price. And that's kind of how I started to read it as it started to play out more and more. I ended up being at the beginning, I think, of the actual channel, which I think is this bigger pink purple thing.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. Because I was wondering if you had that channel drawn from the last few days.
I did not know. I do all my drawings day of, like as they're happening. I keep basically no drawings from day to day at all.
Yeah, I've been trying to do the same.
Yeah, so these are only here because I'm talking to you guys. Otherwise, this chart would be cleared off. So what are the cases? As you can see, it hit the top of the range, consolidated up there, did a pullback to the midline, broke out, retested the top, and I had to hold through all this. This was an hour and a half trade. But once we got to 10:30, the buyers came in and it just sent it right up. And my target was a high volume node from the previous day. It's this guy right here. You can see this area right here. It almost left VPOC there yesterday, but they failed when it sold off. So that was my target. I was actually originally targeting 26, but when I saw this pink channel developing, I said I'm gonna go out as soon as it gets close to the top of that channel,
Yeah,
which ended up being closer. I got it out 28, 76.28. As you can see there, right, and that red arrows pointing at it.
nice.
Goodness.
Yeah, thanks guys. And I'm glad that I made that trade because the rest of the day looks like shit. I mean, you just really couldn't do
That was
anything
yeah,
else
by
the rest
far
of the
the
day.
best. That was the best trade. I ended up taking a just kind of a risky trade towards the end, right where your red arrow is, where you exited. I just
Yeah.
slapped on 3 contracts, and I I was just reading the order flow, and I was expecting it to dump off, but I was kind of it looked like it was going to shoot up maybe a couple times, and it did, and I got
Yeah.
lucky. But I would much rather have done what you did, which was get in early and
Oh yeah.
get the edge,
I
you
should have
know,
zoomed in on it.
have a break even stop loss at a certain point and just let it ride. Because the early morning setup, it looked like it was going to go up, especially if it started testing higher. Um, I think it's interesting that if you scroll to the left a little bit, I think it would be like yesterday's where you were showing us that big clean move up, right? It's actually a V reversal, a little to
Oh,
the
you see
right.
my other trades.
Oh yeah, but if you
Up
scroll
here.
a little to the right, where the low is, and you have it marked in that green trend line,
Oh, right here.
yeah. And this was pre-market or overnight session.
Yeah, this is the beginning of the day right here,
Yeah,
beginning of the
that's a
session.
ton of volume for the overnight session. So super clean move
Hmm.
up, and then a really ugly choppy move down. Really implies, like you said, another leg up,
Oh yeah.
a clean leg, and that's what you got. You nailed it. I love that entry.
Yeah, man, I was so nervous at the beginning. I really thought this was a dud, especially on this red candle. I'm like, oh, this thing's gonna get me for sure.
Yeah,
And it like, because I put my stop right at the bottom of this candle right here. This was my signal candle, and I got in on this one. So I
so
put my stop right here.
you basically got in on the first entry long,
Yeah,
and
and you can
then
see this guy right here. There was somebody here. I
yeah,
knew there was somebody here. I knew that this buying right here might hold. I thought if I had gotten stopped out here and it came back down into where this is under the 90s, the low 90s, I probably would have tried again.
yeah. That it's interesting that big red candle with the tail um
Yeah,
to the
I can get
left,
rid of.
like the where you said the buyer was.
Yeah, this.
Yeah,
Oh, this right here.
yeah, that
Yeah,
right there. You know, it looks like it didn't sweep that low. Looks like that
it
was the sweep.
that was the sweep. I think
Yeah,
they were just buying the bottom of this range. I really
yeah,
do think this range is what was in play because you can see how it respected the top here. Boom, bouncing off. It hit the midline here and found support.
yep,
It tried to get in and got rejected out, and that's why we got launched. So I've been trying to play the ranges. I will be honest, I did not have this range drawn. I had that upward
yeah,
trend line. That's really all I was looking at. I did not like form a range after this shit right here. This is just terrible. You can't
yeah.
make anything out of that.
Yeah, it's
But once it
garbage.
came back up here, I probably should have assumed there was a range. So you have touch here, touch here, touch here, touch here, touch here, and you have all these touches on the bottom, and you have one failed breakdown. So
Yeah,
you know it's probably going to at least do a failed breakout, and it did.
yeah.
This
It
was
did a
another
failed
great place
breakout, but then it
entry.
held.
Yeah, yep, exactly. This was a second entry long, ugly. No way you can get out on this. I mean, you can take a wild swing at it, but there was no signal bar here.
Yeah, yeah. It just reversed hard.
Yeah. So that's it.
Good stuff.
Then I drove my kids around all day yesterday, so I'm glad it freed me up to do all that.
Yeah, that's cool. Very cool. All right, let's see if I can back out here. Ooh. I'm just going to go in and edit all these big pauses out so we don't have to worry about it.
Okay. Yeah, I was under the gun too. I had to leave at like 12:15 to get my kid somewhere at 1, and it was like you never want to trade with that kind of pressure, so it was like it was definitely riding on me. I was like, I hope this works out pretty soon. I think I got out at 11 o'clock, so I had plenty of time, but
So that's yeah, that was about
I was
8 o'clock. I think was the last time I talked to you. Pacific time, so 11 o'clock. Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
sounds right.
yeah.
So I'm just pulling up the trades I took today. I really felt like I over traded, and I marked where you got in, just to show like how much earlier you got in, and then I
Yeah.
really got chopped up. There's also this trade over here on the left that I think was a
Oh,
ghost
wow.
order because that was in the middle of the night, and fortunately, I think that was in my sim account because I got up, I had $650 in my sim account, and I was like, "Ooh," like I didn't make a trade, so I think that's why that's part of this whole session. But anyway,
Oh,
here's
wow.
yeah, sometimes that
Yeah, I see your
happens.
entry down there. What a great entry.
Oh, can
You
you
don't even know
imagine?
what you're doing and you got it. Great entry.
Why did it take me out? I must have had a take profit somewhere in there. Um,
Somewhere in the
but
end.
anyway, here's the big boost, and then that choppy down, and then here's the kind of V reversal we were talking about, and then this pullback. And I really had my eye on this. I mean, that's a classic Fibonacci sequence. It's probably a 50% pullback. It looked bullish, so you're gonna have a lot of traders piling in, and I was just hustling trying to find an entry. I didn't like this for a second entry long. It was just too choppy, and you had those wicks coming down. And so I started getting in here, and I think I even tried to go short right there. I think these were all like break evens or stop outs, and then I
I could
finally
see why
got
you went short there. All that resistance there. It looks like a failed breakout.
yeah, yeah, exactly. I thought it was gonna fail, and I just had a really tight stop on it. I think I actually got out with like 3 ticks. I wasn't gonna give it room to run against me.
Yeah.
And then I tried to
Looks
go
like they
short.
traps. Looks
Yeah,
like they trap people there too.
yeah. I was like, it's whatever happens here is gonna define whether it breaks out or not. It was kind of my
Yeah.
thinking, and I still held on to it. I tried to
Interesting.
go short in here, and um, I may have taken some profit or gotten out. I remember I had kept my losses down to like 8 ticks or something, so I wasn't too worried about it.
Nice.
Um,
That's good.
yeah, I was saving gunpowder for later, and so I finally got on in here on this is what I took to be kind of an aggressive second entry. You had like one little candle pullback, and then it shot out, and
Yep.
I got in for, I think I added up to 3 contracts and got out. I think one of them was break even. I added again, got out a few ticks, held one of these. Um, that was a nice little move right there, and I think that was probably my best trade when I was copy trading. So I ran 5 contracts across 5 accounts,
Oh, nice.
one
Very
contract
nice.
across 5 accounts right there, and then I just switched to one account, and I did that little 3 banger at the end, and it was kind of
Oh,
risky. I'm
yeah.
not really proud of this, but you know, I think we were both seeing that it was going to top out right there. So my thinking is, well, at least I was seeing the topping action, and that there was still a little bit left to go. It did push through the high
Yeah.
one more time,
All
and
right.
I
Got two
think
more legs.
yeah, and my instinct was to just hold for 76.32.25, which was previous day
The all-time
high.
high. Yeah.
And I've just noticed, I almost commented earlier, like how many times have you seen like a really obvious mechanical level like that, and price almost reaches it by like 2 or 3 ticks, or 2 or 3 points, and then it peels
Hmm.
off on you and dives. It just seems
Yep.
to happen all the time. So I was like, this is probably my cue.
That literally happened to me like last Thursday, I think it was. I held it. I dug my feet in and I said, I'm letting this thing come all the way back to my break even. I'm just gonna test out. I'm just gonna test it out. And I do regret it because now I'm still thinking about it. That was last Friday.
Oh,
No, 2 Fridays ago. 2 Fridays ago. It's been a while and it's still stuck with me,
Yeah,
But yeah, I've done it. It's happened. It should have gotten to a specific level and it just came up just short. Sucks.
that's that
Sucks. So
PTSD.
yeah, and so it's got me thinking. I'm like, I really want to try and hold my trades all the way to my target and just just eat it. But at some point, when it's moved a certain amount of distance, there's got to be some place where I bring my stop up to, and I at least accept a small profit, even especially if it
Yeah,
misses my target.
it's always a tough call.
Yep, so hard to know.
Sometimes it'll dip down and take you out. Yeah. So
Right, and then it goes
yeah.
right to your target.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it seems like those times when you don't hold is when you should, and the times when you do hold is when you shouldn't. You know?
Yeah, I think that's my
Yeah,
biggest
it does
fear.
feel like that.
My biggest fear is that it's gonna take me out and then go exactly where I thought it was going. If I just kept my risk on, I would have been fine. That is my biggest fear. I do not fear losing money. I don't fear missing out on trades. I fear of getting taken out too prematurely.
It's the worst feeling in the world.
It is because you knew you were right. You
Yeah.
were right. You just didn't have diamond hands.
That's right. You had lettuce hands.
Yeah, you're the Michael Saylor lettuce hands, right? You see that?
I think Sue posted that. By the way, is that a thing? Is lettuce hands like a thing,
I
or was
don't
that
know.
just
I don't
just
know.
just somebody
thought it was
made that up
paper
on the
hands.
spot? Yeah, paper
I
hands
don't-
is the thing where you give up too easy, but the lettuce hands I think is superior.
Yeah.
Eli, do you want me to pull up your chart and go over some of your trades? Do you want to talk about that a bit?
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, I've been in a drawdown lately. Um,
I remember
trading.
you saying that
Yeah,
you were saying that earlier.
yeah. With my second best strategy is the small cap K1 gappers
Yeah.
shorting. And lately, over the last month, they just haven't been working very well. At least not the ones that I trade. I'm kind of picky about which ones I do trade, but we've been having so many of them, um, and they're just not working that well. They're strong. They've been strong, and I'm thinking that it may just be the environment that we're in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna try dialing those back, um, and focus on other things. I had SPCE on my short list last night, but we had such great gappers this morning. I didn't look too deeply into it, and it ended up dropping over 30% just in the first couple of minutes of market open today.
Wow.
Jeez.
Well, I'm looking at you. You traded HKIT. It looks like you went short and maybe got stopped out, and then or because it almost looks like you took it long and had a successful trade on that one.
Looks like you shorted.
No, I didn't.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
I shorted there at the VWAP.
you
Yeah,
shorted at
before
view
open.
up and then it kind of took you out,
Up to the break of 4.
and then it looks
shorted
like maybe you tried to get in
650,
at the high and
stopped at the break of 7.
and it fell off. Does that sound right?
Yeah. I tried to short there at the top. Also.
Gotcha. Okay, and it was still pushing higher.
Yeah, and then pushed out again. That was just a small one, additional entry. But
Yeah.
yeah, I
So
think it continued another leg above that too, if I
wow.
remember it.
I mean, that's just a crazy move.
Yeah, it got up to, it looks like 875, almost 9, I think. Do you always trade? Is that your trading charts? You trade in the 2 minute typically, or you enter an exit on the 2 minute?
Yeah, I
Okay.
always have a daily up also off to the side, but that's the main one I trade off.
Nice. And then ASTC. Looks like you went short and then it like violently reversed. Does that sound right?
Yeah, that one did end up going lower, and I did held that. It was about midway through the day. It ended up ripping back up.
This image
Took
we're
me
looking
out.
at is you're still in it.
Yeah, it took me out about break even, and then it rolled back over and went lower.
Ah,
there's they've just had just a lot of momentum to the upside,
Yeah,
and
I think that's
I think
true.
everybody's just yeah
Go ahead.
everybody's just looking for longs and
Yeah.
yeah
I've even noticed, on we get these like really strong reversions and, it's just plummeting. And the second you take that trade, it pulls back on you and sweeps the most recent pullback, right? And so then you're like,
Hmm.
oh, you're going the other way. And then, and then it drops on you. Um, and then if I was to like play it like that, the opposite would happen where it would sweep the previous high and then it would keep going. So it's been really tricky. And I think it is that bullish sentiment. Everybody's looking for that bottom where they can start buying again. And it just like
yeah.
makes it really, really tough. Price can just whip higher on you at any moment.
I just heard from CNBC today that 80% of new longs from retail are all bullish right now. They're
80%.
new trades. 80%, yeah, yeah.
So people are entering,
Crazy.
they're entering new trades at
From
80%.
80% long
80%
right
long.
now. Yeah.
That's insane. Yeah, that really, again, it's 2020 all over again. 2021.
Yeah. Oh, they
Yep.
did mention that actually and said that the difference between now and then is that institutional was actually hedging with the index during that time. And at this time, institutional is also long.
I see.
I have
So
Go ahead.
when I
could be a bigger problem. Yeah.
yeah, right. When I'm watching price action and I am just seeing like ridiculous buying, I just call it. Like when it pulls back and it's moving in patterns that kind of don't make sense and it's just being bought up at weird levels and it's like breaking second like short entries are getting reversed almost instantaneously. It's really interesting to see.
Yeah.
Obviously it can't last much longer, but I remember a period during the Biden administration. I can't remember what year, but I do remember it being overbought for so long. I couldn't believe it. And I was short biased the whole time. I kept thinking it's going to break, it's going to break. And it just kept going higher. We're in one of those again.
Yeah.
And so I'm
Yeah.
so happy I'm on the right side of the trades this time around.
Yeah.
But
Understanding that, if the train is rolling higher, you just have to hang on, and
yeah,
go with it.
this market can
Yeah.
the market can stay irrational for longer than you can stay solvent.
That's right. That's a good point. Eli, what was that stock you mentioned earlier? SB or SP something?
SPCE, that's the Richard Branson's Virgin Galactic is what it's called.
Virgin
Oh yeah,
Galactic. Oh,
space.
okay. Yeah, let's take a look at that.
I remember day trading this stock a long time ago.
Same. Yeah. It's been a while since this one was that I looked at this one.
That
Uh,
started rocking with the SpaceX IPO news.
Yeah.
that's SpaceX going public.
It just the news kind of brought. This is a sympathy trade, I think.
Okay. Yeah, it was up. Wow, $1,200.
Yeah, so it went from 2 to 9.
2011 or 2021. Started crashing in
Yeah, peaked in 21,
2022.
peaked in 20, peaked in 21, and then that big bear market. I mean, this is just classic. When I was first learning to trade, I was part of this options Discord, and this was pretty much his main approach that he taught us. It was like you would just wait for this downtrend, and then you'd play these breakouts, and you'd buy options, and you would just take 20% or 30% and lock it. And every so often it might go, 100%, 200%, 300%. But we would just, when it broke out like this, it was just a pure breakout thing, that he lived by. And over time, I got a little more. For me, what he taught us was to play the breakout. And for me, it's more like what we were talking about earlier. If you can get in here and you can spot those
Yeah.
reversals out of the downward diagonal, those are the ones that are like the best trade for me. Um,
Yeah.
you'd have to hold it with a break even and be really convicted on this one. But man, that's interesting. I want to do a deeper dive into Virgin Galactic space. Is there anything
Yeah,
else
the
that's
Swiss.
you said this had to do with the SpaceX? Is there anything else that just drove this higher?
I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it. Just like the sentiment around the SpaceX IPO. Yeah.
I
And
wonder if this is shorts covering in order to take the resources to the IPO. That's a lot of volume, though. I will say that. I just
yeah,
don't understand why Virgin Galactic's value would go higher because a competitor is coming to the market. You know what I mean?
yeah, that's
Yeah.
why that
Yeah.
there's something under the behind the veil here. Maybe what's good for one is good for the other.
Yeah,
But
I'm
I feel
sure
like
it
they
is. They'll
must
just
have
probably
some.
get more contracts.
Yeah, there must be some sort of behind the scenes something we don't know. Maybe something's coming out soon.
So, did you short this today, Eli?
No, I didn't. It was on my list last night though as a potential setup. And then again, we had like six gappers that were up near 100% this morning. So I kind of just glossed over it.
Let's see what that looks
Unfortunate.
like on a five on the 5 minute. Jeremy,
Yeah, okay.
what's today look like? Let's see how much it done. Oh, it was straight down. There were a bunch. I have a bunch of stocks in my portfolio that look exactly like this. This is what they did today. Just straight down and then
Gap down and
logged out the rest of the day at the bottom.
that's so
Man,
interesting.
So what do you think's going on with Bitcoin? You think liquidity is just being pulled from Bitcoin to go into the tech bubble? That's kind of what I was thinking. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I
very
heard someone talk
possible.
about that on the news. That AI is just kind of taking all the money. Um, let's take a look at the chart. I've been I've been looking at it, and I talked about this with Dave a little while back, and like
Yep.
historically, the bull market cycle should be over for Bitcoin. Now, normally it would peak November, December, January of 25 into 26, and it really peaked. I want to say like, is this right? Oh, we're on logarithmic.
I'd say that. Yeah. Okay. Good.
Yeah, so it peaked October, which is pretty early. I don't know that any cycle for Bitcoin has peaked that early. I know there's some have peaked in November, but I was really trying to get a feel just from a technical perspective. So one thing about that, the 4-year cycle, Michael Saylor came out and said it was dead a few weeks ago, and that institutional money was taking over, and because of the ETFs, they had more control over price. But they say that every cycle. They say the cycle's dead when
Right.
it reaches, when it reaches a certain height, and so that made me a little suspicious. And then 2 weeks later, he sells 32 Bitcoin, and
yes,
the price on his company's stocks is just plummeting. Um, looking at this uptrend, the low was way down here, 15. It was 2023, and
15,126.
you could make a case for this right here to be the start of a first impulse up. That is, I think I measured it earlier. I think that is a 62% pullback. And then we got the extension. So that would give us a 1, 2, 3, 4. And you got a 5 wave that actually broke above, which is bullish, came down, formed the rest of this, the bottom of this downtrend. And then you got this extension. So in theory, you could kind of take this whole thing as a more of a macro one wave. And then I guess this would be like your 3 and your 4, and then this would be your 5, and then corrective. I guess what I'm trying to say is this looks really bearish to me, and I'm seeing all these guys on Twitter and TikTok posting these, you know, they're still buying, and I guess, technically, if you ran your fibs from the bottom of this and assumed that this was actually a corrective part of the corrective process, and you got your fibs started here, you could make a case for 62 wick down to 60 being the Fibonacci pullback, and that it could still go back and test the high. I guess I'm open to it, but I just don't see it. What I saw, and I actually wanted to talk to both of you guys about this. You have the start of a two-wave corrective down wave, right? You've got your 1, 2 right there. Oops.
Oh, did you measure those though?
I did not. That looks about like a
So-
30%.
So I just meant that you have one leg down from the high down to, what is it, 82-ish, that first move. I count that as one leg. Yep.
Okay.
And then there's a kind of a two-legged pullback correction. And if you measure that next leg from that highest point, yep, right there.
So there's your two legs. So what I'm
Kind of got
thinking,
there. Now, I have my chart running down to 52.
Mhm.
So my pinpoint right now is 52,000. It's got to be the low. Below that, I start getting nervous. And I stopped buying a while ago, just to mimic some of what you were just saying.
yeah,
I stopped buying because I think it's still bearish. I think we'll keep going lower.
I do too.
I'm ready to buy, but I'm doing DCA and Bitcoin. This is like my retirement fund right here, basically. But I think it's going to 52. I think it's going to the 50s.
Yeah. Well, so what I was thinking here is, you've got, if we're in a bull market and you get one of those crazy pullbacks and it's a two-leg correction, that happened, right? And then we got this long horizontal consolidation, which was starting to convince me. And if it had held above 82, 82 was the level I was really looking for it to hold. If it had held above that, I would have said, yeah. But instead, what it did was we've now got another pullback, and we're now getting a fifth leg down. And so that's a characteristic of a bear market. The bull market, your pullbacks will give you two legs down. Bear market, you'll get all five waves. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. This is now clearly a fifth wave down.
Yeah.
And in all likelihood, this is going to sweep the low. That's my opinion.
I agree. It's either going to test that low, sweep it, or just come up shy of it. And I liked your channel there too. I don't think Bitcoin follows channels very closely. I think the ranges play up really well with Bitcoin, but that channel looks really good to me. That it looks like we had a channel down. We've closed outside, which was the recent run to 80,000. And now we're going to retest the lows, which is like standard. The way I read the market every single day, it's like I'm always looking for kind of stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
A break of structure and then a retest. And that's what it looks like it's going to do.
Yeah, and so we've got the 200 here, and you can see every time it tested it, it kept going higher, and then now it's under it. And so it just pulled right back to it. I mean, that's kind of classic pullback and fail. All that being said, I've seen Bitcoin do some crazy things. I'm totally open to this. If it sweeps the low and turns around and it actually breaks out, but again, I would still be waiting for, 82, like a hold above 82, or like a deep V and then just a hardcore reversal.
That
that
range you have drawn up there around 90,000, it's got to get into there.
Yeah.
It's got to get into that range. And if it gets to it, it'll break through it. It'll rip back to the highs. But I think that range is like the big point.
Yeah.
The big test. I think you got to talk fundamentals on Bitcoin too. We have that Clarity Act still in the process, and I
they've been
think
having
there's
trouble
a
getting
lot of money waiting for that to go through.
Yeah, they've been having trouble getting it passed, right? Like or getting it hashed out.
Yeah, there was something recent today though. They were talking about how it's made its way to the next step, and I think it's just about ready to go to the Senate floor for a vote.
Yeah, that can make
And then it
things
would
really
go-
interesting because that would kind of validate it as an investment vehicle, like more of a mainstream investment vehicle.
I think it's going to time perfectly with this sweep. The technical analysis will align with the fundamentals. We'll get the sweep at the same time. That Clarity Act either passes and it reverses back up, or it fails and it dumps even lower. I don't know what's going to happen, but I think it'll kind of time really well with whatever goes on with the that legislation.
Yeah, I agree. And this is what makes me even more cautious is like, if we are indeed in a bear market, and it sure looks like it as far as crypto is concerned, definitely not the regular stock market, but crypto,
Yeah.
it's not unusual to get a bear rally, to have a big spike off, like a news event like that, and it gets everyone hyped up thinking it's going, and then, then we'll see.
Yeah.
So,
I've been waiting for that for a while.
yeah.
Feel like the last one we saw of that was election night when or just it was like mind-boggling fast going
Yeah.
higher. That was wild.
Yeah. I have a bunch of altcoins that I've just been hanging on to, and I think at this point I'm just going to hang on to them for the next cycle. Um, but some of my bigger ones I actually liquidated and flipped into stocks
Good.
when it didn't move above 82. I was like, I want to have some fun here. So
Yeah. Give you some more.
buy some AMC.
Exactly. That had a nice move today, didn't it? Didn't
Mhm.
it do well today?
Yeah, I think it hit 217.
Nice.
Well, yesterday was 20% or something, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this thing's gone
Yeah.
from $1 to $2 in the matter of like 3 days or something.
It's a nice two-legged move. Let's see if they get follow through today. Today's high. I'd like
Yeah.
to see that.
Or it does one of those like that last Virgin Galactic we're just looking at, it could do one. What was that on the
Right.
daily? Yeah, it could do one of these. That's like a was that a gravestone
Right,
or
right.
a firefly or dragonfly?
That
Doji.
doji at the top.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
rough-looking doji.
yeah.
But
Um,
no, AMC's closed today. I mean, there's some selling on the high, but it still finished much higher. It looks like it's almost done a perfect two measured legs. I love looking at legs. I'm always looking at like,
mhm.
okay, is it doing a measured leg? Stocks don't do them as perfectly, but it got really close to there today. I think that's probably the only reason why they were selling at the highs. Seems
And-
like we'll push through, especially because volume's building on the daily. This is going higher.
Yeah. Notice it's poked above the 200, and it's testing it now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, nice.
I was looking at the gamma exposure for AMC, and I want to say it's at $3.50 is the big magnet, the positive magnet to the upside.
350.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's if we get continuation, that'll be where it's headed. I'll take a look at that again tomorrow. But there was a big positive gamma right at $2 today, and it just targeted it, and then when it hit it, it just pinned right there. So it was really respecting those positive gamma. There's negative gamma below that's acted as a support, and yeah, that's where it is right now. So and it hasn't the gamma on AMC hasn't been changing that much day to day. So it really looks like there's sort of a move being orchestrated, behind the
Yeah.
scenes. Definitely looks like as far as two
Absolutely.
legs, it has more to go. Although that's probably about an 80% high. But this doesn't look corrective to me right now. This actually looks like a reversal. Again, you've got that.
Is that a log? Is that a log chart
It
you
is.
got right there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll take
was
it
gonna
off.
say.
Take it off log.
Without log, my legs are like my second leg goes up to 226 or $2.26, and yours looks like it goes into the 260s, and it's much closer on today. But
You said
maybe I should be
270. You said.
yours seems to go to 270. My second leg finishes at 225.
Oh, gotcha.
I don't know why, but so it's much closer to today's high.
Well, you're probably using the Max tool. It's a little more precise. I just kind of eyeball these with these
Oh.
measurements. I think
Well, you
they're
look
they're
pretty
close
close.
enough, but
Look pretty good.
102% and 108%. Close enough,
Oh, okay. I guess, I guess not.
roughly.
Fair
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah. And so that's where we're at with AMC. All that makes me want to take a look at MU again. That's the
So glad
monthly.
the AMC trade's working out for you. That's awesome.
Yeah,
MU.
my plan is to keep rolling the options or just exercise them and just keep accumulating shares and just think about it like a 5 or 10 year hold, and have some
Yeah.
fun with it. If
Yeah,
it
I think that's great.
if it dies out on me, it's not the end of my world, but it's certainly fun right now.
Yeah, for sure.
Micron's absolutely nuts.
Yeah.
Oh
So
man.
we
Did it
were,
cross 1,000 today or was it yesterday?
I think it was yesterday. It
Yesterday.
gapped up.
Yesterday. Okay. Oh yeah, wow.
And it did not respond at all to 1,000. It just
Kind of went
gapped right
through.
over, held, kept going.
Man, I hate that volume.
Because it's dropping off.
Yeah. And those
Yeah,
candles are looking tinier and tinier.
yeah, it needs a pullback for sure.
For sure.
I'm watching it, but it
I
is
I
strong.
really thought 1,000 would have been the psychological level to start selling this,
Yeah,
but
Yeah.
yeah, it was Intel. I think it was Intel. No, one of these other guys crossed 1,000 a week or two ago, and responded really, really well to it.
should I pull that up? Intel?
Oh, it did. Interesting.
It wasn't Intel though. It was something else. I'm trying to look, but not seeing it.
Let's see, what do I have at 1,000 or near 1,000? Yeah, Intel's 100. Was it? No, Microsoft's at 4. Uh-uh. Wasn't like SanDisk or something, was it?
Might have been.
That's like
SanDisk at 1,500 actually. May.
yeah. Well, SanDisk crossed it on May 1st, and oh no, not May 1st. But I mean, you go back to the daily chart, it definitely didn't really pause at 1,000 either. Ugh, I didn't pause at 1,500. I guess there is a small two-legged pullback at 15, but it's now at 18. Wow.
Yes.
I don't think I've been following SanDisk.
The like flash memory companies are just making a killing right now. I don't remember
Yeah,
the other ones.
the day I'm thinking of was May 6th on SanDisk, and
My
it
God.
tagged 1,500 pre-market, and then had a nice dip.
You said May
After
6?
yeah, nice.
Yeah, I see that. That was a massive run up. The 3 days prior to that, it was gap up, and just go.
Yeah, yeah.
At 1,500, the pre-market and sold off back to 1,300.
Yeah, I always keep the Bollinger's up on these daily charts, and all these names are just like riding above the second standard deviation. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's how you know it's trending. As long as it stays above there, it's hardcore trending. That's fascinating. I had no idea SanDisk was so high. They make these, you know, cheap little thumb drives. I have like 10 of them laying around in a drawer somewhere. Um, but that's cool. I'm gonna have to dive into the fundamentals on that, and check that out, because that is a trend right there. Very cool.
Buy in September. Get that
June
breakout.
2nd,
Holy
June
cow.
2nd, 2025. The high was 37.88.
Look at that. Right around here. I mean,
Crazy. 1 year.
I hope this is in a bunch of people's retirement accounts and they're just making a killing.
Yeah.
I want to revisit the oil. I've been watching crude.
Yeah.
Um, I marked this preliminary range. I wouldn't say it's perfectly confirmed yet, but this was just kind of what I saw forming up. And, so we had this kind of move higher and then the breakdown, and then I think it's sideways. And it's obviously sentiment with Iran, the Strait of Hormuz and stuff like that. Um,
That
you
may
know,
be a midline. That bottom of that range you have, that may be the midline of a larger range. If you doubled that, what
like
would
down
that
here.
look like? Yeah. So I was thinking that like that's the bottom of the range.
Let's
It's
take a look.
possible. I know I doubt you're right, but
Yeah, because then you would get the top and the midline touches.
yeah. So let's
Yeah.
see if that midline holds or if it runs back up to the highs.
Yeah,
I don't know.
we'll just
Interesting.
leave that for now, um, and just see how that plays out. But my thinking is, regardless of what the levels are, it looks like it's forming into a range.
Hmm.
And you'll notice crude has also been in this kind of range here, which is part of a much bigger horizontal range. So as of right now, it is hovering under resistance. I bought a put on this the other day, and I think it's already down like 50%. But I've been watching the prices, and like it really only went up a couple dollars. Um, so my thinking is there could be good news incoming. It sure doesn't sound like it from the news with Trump and Netanyahu and the way things are going. But
Yeah.
I'm just gonna keep my eye on that and let it play out. We could certainly go higher. Um,
The new
and
normal, man. These are the normal prices. Just better get used to them.
yeah,
My long was at 131.50 for US though, so I'm still
131.
bullish.
Oh, good. Yeah, that could totally pop up
Oh yeah.
here. Another 20 points. Um,
Go to 200.
I was
Who
looking at
knows?
Chevron is actually the play that I was getting into, and it's been in this long horizontal. This looks like a B wave to me. This looks like a C, and this looks like a false breakout. Um, so if this false breaks and comes back, tests maybe the midline, I would make a lot of money just on that.
Yeah, plus you get the 200-day right there.
Mm-hmm. But it could certainly hold here and take off higher. And what I was gonna say was like, just looking at the way it moves, there's a lot of time. You know what I mean? Like these are not like one quick move that moves, 10 points, 20 points like in futures. Um, it's moving like 2 points, 3 points, 5 points. So I'm just
Yeah,
kind of keeping my eye on that.
it's a behemoth. This
Yeah,
stock.
yeah, for sure.
Are you looking? Are you trying to short? You're trying to. Are
I'm
you
trying to
in a
short the
short?
range. Yeah,
Gotcha.
yep. And I don't
What
have.
kind of signal have you entered into a position yet?
Yeah. I've been holding a put since like right at
Of that
185.
area. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
So it moved up three points. Um, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. My plan is to play the range if it drops, and if it holds, then I'll just get out. But this just doesn't like this long consolidation that's under the midline. Doesn't strike me as a completed, um, like a bull flag or something like that, or a rotation. I feel like this happens a lot, and then it tests the high, and then it comes back down, and maybe swoops down, and then once it gets over here, then we get a better signal as to like where it's actually going to go.
Yeah. I don't even like that low where you have the number two next to. I don't
Mhm.
like it doesn't look like the auction's finished at all down there.
Yeah, exactly. We know there's a lot of trap traders down here. We know there's liquidity there. I mean, look at that long
Mhm.
consolidation. and it's pretty much lower than all these, so it's really trapped a bunch of
Yeah,
people
like
here.
that July 2022 dip, that thing looks good. Like all the way back to the left side of the screen. Yeah, like that. Where it last touched the 200. Go up a little more. That big steep sell off into July of 2022. Yeah, right
Yeah.
there, straight. Yeah, that looks like a good auction. Like that's the end of that selling auction for sure.
Mhm.
You don't really have that kind of spike at the bottom like you do where the 2 is. So I feel like you could either retest that July sell off or at least scoop near it, take out where that recent low is at the 2.
Yeah.
That 2. Oh, they're matching. Oh yeah, you gotta clean that up. No, that's pretty good actually, because they're just so spaced out. That double bottom might hold actually,
Right here.
but from
Or
from
right
like a the 2 spikes that you were talking about before, where the 2 is, and then that one way back. This makes that double bottom. It almost looks like a triple test of that level.
Yeah.
If you even go back further into the beginning of 2022. So, I mean, it could hold, but from like a day trading standpoint, I'd love to see that cleaned up, and then I'd buy.
Yeah. You've got the impulse up here. You've got the break of structure. If I was to draw a diagonal, it
Yeah.
would break right here. And this was like the first kind of obvious trap that I saw, was like you have this push up and this pullback, and then it got swept. And that's what I would have marked as a possible one. And when this 2 came down and swept, that's the trap. And sure enough,
Mm.
it went back and swept. And that's a really
what those
common
guys.
pattern that plays out. So you have that same setup here where you've got push up, pull back, possible 1 that made the 2, and sure enough, it swept the 1, went right back up to
Yeah.
resistance. And this is where it can decide to go either way now, and so that's what I'm watching. This looks like the 4-5, and then we'll see what it does from here. It could actually go either way.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah, definitely
It
something.
looks like ripe for at least a test of the 200 moving average there.
Which would
And I
put
think
right
if you're
around
going to get that
the
far,
VPOC, yeah.
I think you'd get all the way down there for sure.
Also, this aggressive move up, they got sold off and came right back down, and then they tried to move it higher, got moved back down, and then they swept it. Again, that's that trap. You've got the move up, move down, sweep, potential sweep down here. So, got my eye on that. And also just like for the larger sort of macro geopolitical implications, what's going to happen with the war. I've just been glancing at those 3 every day to kind of keep an eye on it. So yeah, that's my thinking on that.
Like it.
2 others. Let's see. Eli, are you still with us? You're okay on time?
Yeah, I'm doing good.
Oh, cool. I just wanted to take a look at Archer and Joby. So I was noticing something on my phone earlier. And I think what I noticed was that the charts look very similar, whereas previously I would have said they were completely uncorrelated, and that maybe Joby was running ahead, which obviously it's made a big reversal, has this gap to fill, hasn't filled it yet. It's going to hit the 200. And it just struck me that this, minus the gap, this pattern for Archer looks very similar. And it got me wondering, since it did a test of support here that held and then was back tested twice, if this is going to now go back up to test the high, or at least the midline.
Well, it's sitting on the 21-day EMA. That's my big indicator that I like to use. It's literally on it right now.
Is it
It's
above it, or
just
it's sitting above it?
second day. So yesterday it closed above it, and today it looks like it closed maybe above it. I don't like that volume. An inside bar and it's low volume. I like everything else about it though. I just think it's going to pull back a little bit.
Yeah. This is what I have
Maybe
for the
one,
21.
last pullback.
Right
Oh,
here.
you have it. Oh, you're above it.
That's on the daily though.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm looking at a weekly.
Oh, you're
That
looking
would
at weekly.
explain
Okay,
why. Yeah,
let's
you're
drop
firmly
over.
above. You're firmly above it on the daily, and that volume is really good the last few weeks. I liked it on a weekly too. It was just looked like it was struggling a little bit with the 21 EMA. We're still in the middle of the week though.
Mm-hmm.
Now that I think about it, I was thinking it was a daily candle for 2 days in. That's pretty good volume. So let's just see if you can break the top of the previous week. And I think you run right to that 200 day.
Yeah, these are
moving
another
average.
two that I'd really like to start, DCAing or accumulating. I don't have a position in either yet
I
because
agree.
they were pulling back pretty heavy when I first looked, and it didn't look good to me. But now that it's tested support, it's starting to look like at least a range traverse, which I like.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I like that. It's a failed breakdown. We should
Mhm.
go
failed
test the other
breakdown.
side for sure and probably break out the other side.
Yeah,
So yeah, I like it. I like Archer a lot. My daughter has some shares, and so I figured I'm covered. She's got some money in it, so I don't need to put any in. But
that's so cool. I love that
I like
that you have
I
your
like the
daughter
stock.
investing.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
fantastic.
she loves it. She asked me if she should buy some Google the other day. I was like, well, let's take a look at the chart. We brought it up, and it's just ripping. It's ripping its face off, and I'm like, well, right now is probably not the best time. I think it's a great investment, but I wouldn't buy at the all-time highs.
Yeah.
I'll show you one that I've been waiting to enter. It's AIS. It's a index that tracks AI infrastructure build out. So it's like all the companies and materials that are going into the AI infrastructure build, and it has just been ripping and ripping and ripping. And I've been waiting for an entry, but uh, yeah,
Is it
yeah,
this
it's like
Vista Shares Artificial Intelligence Supercycle ETF?
yeah,
Is that right?
yeah, that's the one.
Damn, dude, today's it's just ripped even more. Wow.
I mean, that is insane. That just looks like controlled buying.
What if
Yeah, yeah.
this is like a spike and then it like levels off into a large channel and never comes back? That's the thing. Like I don't
I
understand.
know.
I don't know how to look at AI stocks, you know?
Yeah.
It's
And
I'm
this
pretty
this could be if this is like SanDisk or something where $80 is nothing by next year. It's like,
Right.
right.
but at the same time, how do you justify buying that?
You
Uh,
can't. You just yeah.
yeah,
You have to be one of those guys that got in around $25,
I know, right?
which are basically all insiders and
People that own,
institutions, maybe.
yeah,
Who knows?
CEOs and people in the company.
I'm even looking at its value. So its 90-day value sitting at $45, but it could easily move up to 76. They could move value up to 76, 70.
look at that volume expansion.
It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It's wild.
Yeah, and even this big sell-off didn't go anywhere. The biggest sell bar here, the volume bar, it didn't really go down.
all caught by buyers. Yeah,
Yeah.
Hmm.
And then it was weaker here, and there was 3 bars in a row on the daily, and it was just scooped up. I love it.
Well, there's that. I have a big gap. Do you have that gap at 72? Yeah, you do.
Mhm.
I'm going to put a little alert there to see if that ever gets filled. 72.
Yeah, it could swoop back down and sweep, and then
That might be the
higher.
buy.
Yeah.
It cleans up that gap, retest that little consolidation area. You might not get a better price than 672,
For sure.
$70.
Yeah.
If if it ever pulls back.
yeah, yeah.
There's quite a few gaps on that chart. See 2 more below
It's like
that.
a few of these days, I'm like, I should just buy it. I should just buy it. And that was like, a while ago. I should have bought it each time I bought it.
I know that feeling.
That's the FOMO kicking in.
100%.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna mention the Keel real quick.
Oh,
I've been
yeah.
holding shares of this since $2.30, and it it has a target of like $8 on the gamma exposure, and it hit
Oh,
like
wow.
six. I want to say 630, 640 today.
There it is. Nice. What is this company?
644.
Keelan.
So this used to be a Canadian bit farming. It used to be called Bitfarms, and I've never had any luck with Canadian companies. I always buy them; they always just kind of fizzle out. And this one rebranded as Keel, and their mission statement is they're going after the infrastructure for AI, so building data centers, leasing or buying properties, getting the electricity or whatever else is needed to provide the energy for AI data centers. And they relocated to
Wow.
the New York Stock Exchange. Um, so yeah,
And you got in at 2 something?
I got in at
Oh,
230
man.
was that was the level I was looking for it to break. And it really pulled back on me. I was like, whatever. And then it shocked me when it took off. And I had no idea they were going to rebrand and, turn into a completely different company. But I have to imagine that they have at the very least a lot of funding to be that aggressive that like, no, we're going to relocate to the New York Stock Exchange and we're going to do this for real. It just seems really positive. It's playing out. So that's been really fun to follow that one.
That's a great trade, man. That's a
Yeah.
great investment. That's your Palantir right there. That thing's gonna rip.
I hope so.
You're in
I
you're in
really hope so.
early. I like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, good stuff. Anything else we want to cover? We're getting right about just hit an hour, so we should probably call it. But is there anything else we should look at before we go?
Nah, I got nothing. We
Yeah, I
covered
think that's all I got today.
Okay, sounds good. Well, thanks so much for joining. It was great to go over the trades today, and I got a lot out of it, and I always get a lot out of these meetups. So thank you for joining, and I'm just gonna
Yes, absolutely. Me too.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
thanks.
Thanks. Thanks
Yeah,
for having it, man.
thanks for making the effort. Thank you guys for watching. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button, give us a like, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching.